Hi, everyone, and welcome to my fifth book critique. This week, I decided to focus on biographies. And just a little background, I read partial biographies this week, which means that the biography did not follow the person's entire life, but it followed part of their life. And I also read one autobiography, but I decided to link them all together because they have similar qualities to them. Now, the first book I read this week is Walt Whitman, Words for America. It's written by Barbara Curley, illustrated by Brian Selznick. It's a Robert F. Seibert Honor Book Award winner from 2005, and the genre is biography, picture book, and poetry, and I loved this book. It was really hard for me to choose between this one and my featured text, but this one follows Walt Whitman from a young child to his adulthood and then eventual death, and it kind of just focuses on his love for words and his goal and mission of writing poetry for the common man. And he did this by visiting wounded soldiers during the Civil War and talking with them, reading them poetry, writing poetry about them. And it focuses on his relationship with Abraham Lincoln, and it's a beautiful story. I loved it. This leads me to my second book, which is actually Abraham Lincoln, written and illustrated by Ingrid and Edgar Perrin Dallaire. It's a Caldecott Medal winner from 1940, and the genre is biography, picture book, and historical fiction. This book takes you on the journey of Abraham Lincoln's life from the time of him being a young boy, and it takes you up through how he discovered law and his love for learning and became a lawyer and then eventually became the president, and it's a very wonderful story. Third book I read is called The Wall, Growing Up Behind the Iron Curtain. It's written and illustrated by Peter Siss. It's a Caldecott Honor Book winner from 2008, and it's a Robert F. Seibert Medal winner from 2008 as well. The genre is autobiography and picture book. This book focuses on the life of Peter Siss, and he actually did make all the drawings inside, which is comic book style, or more like comic strip style. And it talks about him growing up as a little boy in Czechoslovakia during the Cold War, and he touches on the Berlin Wall and communism, and it's a very powerful story, and it eventually brings you to him coming to America, and it's wonderful to read. I recommend it. Fourth book I read is It Just Happened, written by Dawn Tate, illustrated by R. Gregory Christie. It's a Lee and Loeb Books New Voices Award Honor Book winner from 2005, and the genre is biography and picture book. This book focuses on the life of Bill Traylor, who was a slave in Alabama as a young boy on a cotton farm, and it takes you through his life. And then after his wife dies and his children all move away, he picks up all of his stuff and moves to Montgomery, Alabama, where he does become homeless, and he starts drawing on anything he can get his hands on, like cartons and cardboard and scraps of paper. And an artist, a well-known artist, actually recognizes his talent and helps him to portray his work, but he doesn't really get noticed until later. And it's a great story. My featured text is called Snowflake Bentley, and this is written by Jacqueline Briggs Martin. It's illustrated by Mary Azarian. It's a Caldecott Medal winner from 1999. The genre is biography, picture book, and historical fiction. And this book is about Wilson Bentley, and it takes you on his life's journey from a young boy to his death. And he was a farmer, so he lived on a farm in Vermont, and he was always fascinated by the snow, but particularly snowflakes. So he spent his entire life trying to capture a picture of them. And while doing this, he noticed that every snowflake is different. There are no two the same, but each is beautiful in its own way. And that message kind of really stuck out to me, and that's why I chose it for this week. And that leads me to my first lesson, which is called Capture the Moment. And it's I would do it with a 10th grade class. And first you'd read the text, and they're going to separate into pairs, which will be picked randomly, because the point of the lesson is that you don't know your partner that well. So we're going to focus on this idea that no two things are alike, like snowflakes, even though they may look the same, but they're beautiful in their own way. So we're just going to think about how we sort of do that in society. We assume or generalize that groups of people or social groups are similar. They're all the same. We never think, well, maybe they're a little different. So each student has 1 week to get to know their partner in any way they choose. We're going to have time in class, and they can do it after school. And they're going to have to take a picture of their partner and then write a caption for it. showing the uniqueness of that individual, and each caption must be 3 sentences long and include a fact, a literary device, and correct grammar. And then after, the class is going to upload them to a class Padlet and comment on each other's posts. So I actually did create a Padlet. And for this artifact, I chose a picture of my younger brother because it kind of just stuck out to me. And I titled it One with Nature. And my caption is, living life to the fullest, Mark makes the most of any situation. A laugh is always nearby, patiently waiting to be set loose among the people. His carefree spirit, love for adventure, and insane knowledge of random historical facts proves that he is as unique as the turtle in the picture, standing tall, ready to take his humor out into the world. And that's the picture. I just thought it was kind of funny and fit well with this assignment. So that's what the students are going to do, and they'll be able to comment and interact with their classmates. And my second lesson is called Set the Scene. So students are going to read the text, and we're going to pay attention to the setting, including the weather, because that's a very important aspect of this book. And then after we read the book, we're going to set it aside, and they're going to write a brief paragraph, 3 to 5 sentences, describing a particular setting, any setting they choose. And then we're going to use this online tool I found called Stencil to create a digital representation of that same setting with a title and a rhetorical question, and that's it. No other words on the image. And then these settings will be printed out and hung in the classroom. So I set the scene with this paragraph. First, the air is wet to the touch. As if we were wading through the water, we sail atop. The sloshing of the waves against the wooden panels is an ominous beat like that of a drum. Our destination is within a mile's reach of the bow. Storm clouds race overhead as if time were running out. A black point breaks the water's seal to our left in the uncharted waters. I've heard many a tale about the wonders within the sea, but are you ready for what lies beneath? So I found this image on the site, and I thought it was very fitting, and I inserted the shark fin and the boat coming off the side of the page, and I titled it Uncharted Waters, What Lies Beneath. It's supposed to be a little ominous because it's a rhetorical question, and that's sort of what I had in mind for this assignment, and that's all I have for this week. Thank you, as always, for watching.